PR y is equal to 1 given xi thereby xij is f dash of xi beta into beta j by the chain rule. Because we know, what is it here, Abraham? See, we know, this is a very important point which you must always keep in mind. See, what we have is probability yi is equal to 1 is f of xi dash beta. So, what is the impact of x on the probability? Yi is equal to 1 given dabba x is f dash of xi beta into beta. Yeah, by the chain rule. Whereas for the usual linear regression, beta itself is dabba y by dabba x. So the usual linear regression model, beta tells you how much y changes with x. Whereas in the logistic regression, it doesn't tell you how y changes with x. Beta does not tell you how the probability of y changes with x. In the logit or a probit model, wherever. It tells you beta j into f dash of xi dash beta. So it's a more complicated expression. Okay? So the coefficients are not marginal effects in the logistic regression, but they are more complicated objects which we need to understand. So this is the difference, okay? This is the important difference that we are going to talk to you about. For the logit model, probability y is equal to 1 is e raised to x dash beta plus upon 1 plus e raised to x dash beta, where x dash beta is alpha plus beta x. X dash beta is alpha plus beta x, okay? Right. So Emily solves the problem, yi minus this form, e raised to x dash beta plus 1 plus e raised to x dash beta into xi. No. Error term meaning? The E portion will be in the linear regression model, the error term is the each value of yi minus the conditional mean of y given x is equal to xi. No, the left side is not y is equal to 1 at 0. The left side is probability y is equal to 1. See, what we are modeling is not yi is equal to alpha plus beta xi. We are modeling probability. What we are really taking is the logs odds ratio, log of p upon 1 minus p is alpha plus beta xi plus ei. Right? So ei is log of p upon 1 minus p minus alpha minus beta xi. Coefficients are related to the probabilities. The coefficients are not the usual marginal effects. Okay? Like for example in this case, probability is equal to 1, that the f function takes this form. F of x beta is this form. E raised to x dash beta upon 1 plus e raised to x dash beta. Right? X dash beta is what we learned the multiple linear regression model context. This is the logistic regression. It is a lambda. If you solve for the MLE by differentiating with respect to beta, you get this form, okay, which you can try out at home and see. Okay. So now MLE involves finding the coefficients alpha and beta that makes the log likelihood function as large as possible, right? The log likelihood function is negative because it's a natural log of, or finds coefficients that make minus 2 times the log likelihood function as small as possible. So this is all we know, okay. And we solve them, right, as we will go on, right. Everyone understands the logic of the maximum likelihood. So understand what we have, p is equal to e raised to x beta upon 1 plus e raised to x beta implies p upon 1 minus p is e raised to x dash beta, right, which implies that the log of p upon 1 minus p is x dash beta, which is the odds ratio, okay. For the logit model, log of the odds ratio is linear in the regressors. So now let's estimate the logistic regression. How does the formula change? Instead of LM, it becomes GLM, the generalized linear model. Right, the logistic regression generalized linear model. Participation is now the dependent variable. Income, age, education, young kids, old kids, foreign, the coefficients remain, the explanatory variables remain the same, the data remains the same. I have to tell it that the y variable is a binomial. And then I have to tell the computer that the f of x dash beta function is the logistic regression, is the logistic function. So the link has to be logit. If I want to do a probit model, what would I do? This will continue to be binomial, but link probit. Link would be probit, right? Then it will be a multinomial model, 1, 2, 3. And if there is an ordered relationship in that 1, 2, 3. So for example, 1, 2, 3 is actually the rating of a politician. Suppose you want to find out whether you would rate the current government, okay, how are, say, age, education, income related to the rating of the current government. So you would conduct a survey of people. You would ask them to rate the government, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And you would ask them what their ages are, what their incomes are, what their genders are, what their educations are. Then you do a regression model where you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the dependent variable. This will be an ordered model. This will not be a general multinomial model, it is an ordered model. So you do an ordered probit there. Right? An ordered probit is something which essentially allows for limited dependent variables where there is an ordered relationship. 2 is bigger than 1, 3 is bigger than 2. Right? Whereas if you do not have that kind of relationship, right? If the outcomes are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how do you go to South Mumbai? Do you take a taxi, a train, bus, cycle, walk, boat, whatever? Right? So you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there is no ordering in that. In which case you will use a multinomial model. Right? Okay, this is not terribly big. Let me just make it bigger for you guys. Because this is important. Can you see it now? आउटपुट काढून टाकू हां त्या आउटपुटची गरज the output definitely is there. Is it okay now? Okay. So what did it say? Now the estimate, the intercept is 10.37435, income is minus 0.85104. So the model now is, the model now is the log of P upon 1 minus P, okay, is equal to 10.37 minus 0.8154 income and so on, right? So the dependent variable has changed now and therefore the coefficients are different, okay, right. Now remember, here you do not have the t values like you had there. You had the standard errors alright, these are the standard errors, they are the z values. What are the, why are they the z values? Standard normal, because we have used the central limit theorem. If you remember, we did the Fisher information and we used the central limit theorem, which is root n theta hat minus theta is normally mean 0, I theta inverse, right? I theta inverse, and you take the coefficients from the I theta, that is what this is done. Why? Because we are not sure if the error term is normally distributed or not. So the t values don't really work, right? So these are the standard normals. And these are the p values from the standard normals. Okay? Null deviance is 1203.2 on 871 degrees of freedom. Residual deviance 1052.8 on 865 degrees of freedom. The Ekaike information criteria, the model selection criteria, very closely associated with the R square, very similar to the R square. Okay, your homework is to find what the Ekaike information criterion is. The lower the Ekaike information criteria, the better, right? For a model. Okay, right. Now, what do you think is the null deviance? The null deviance is, it is the variance of the error term from the restricted model. So, summation E hat I square upon n minus 1, because only alpha hat is being estimated, and if the degrees of freedom are 871. What is the residual deviance? Summation E hat I square upon n minus k. The standard, the variance of the error term from the model, the unrestricted model. How many parameters are being estimated? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? How many data points were there? 872. 872 minus 7 is 865. The sum, basically the residual sum of squares upon n minus. So, basically the standard deviation of the estimated error from the fitted, from the unrestricted model, from the restricted model. So, basically how to compare that? Now, please note that here the coefficient of income in the LPM was minus 0.168. The coefficient of income in the logit was minus 0.8154. Now, remember, if the coefficient of beta increases by small amount beta j, so that you have e raised to x dash beta plus beta j, that is the same thing as e raised to x beta into e raised to beta j, right? Okay, right. Now, what is e raised to x beta? E raised to x beta will be, so if this is x beta, right, this is x beta, right, the linear regression model, x dash beta really. So, e raised to x dash beta will be p upon 1 minus p. The odds ratio will be e raised to x beta, right? Sure. So, the idea, so that's the important idea is, it tells you, so if beta increases by some amount, say beta j, then the odds ratio gets scaled by e raised to beta j. If beta increases by beta j, right, then that is equivalent to scaling the odds ratio up, multiplying the odds ratio by e raised to beta j, right. So, in this case, for example, the income coefficient of minus 0.815 implies income goes up by 1 unit, the initial odds ratio gets multiplied by e raised to beta j, that is e raised to minus 0.81504. So, which is equal to 0.442622. So, it means suppose the initial odds ratio was 0.9, then the unit increase in income will reduce the odds ratio to 0.39. That is how you interpret the coefficients beta j. That's how you interpret the coefficients beta j. Okay. So, for the logistic model, you see dabba pi by dabba xij is pi into 1 minus pi into beta j. Right, from this model, okay, dabba pi by dabba xij, okay, is nothing but pi into 1 minus pi into beta j. Right, why is that so? Yeah. No. No, let us go back to this, okay. So think of this, okay, log of p into 1 minus p is x raised to beta, right. So, p into 1 minus p is p raised to beta, okay, right. So, what you get from here is dabba pi by dabba xij, okay, is pi, okay, into 1 minus p, can you tell me why? Yeah, but by simply differentiating, what will you get? P into 1 minus P, P, right, right, right. What will you get? Yeah. Pi upon minus Pi is x dash beta. You need to come to here. How do you get this? Wait, this is a definition of Pi, right? So Pi is, what is Pi here? For the logit, Pi is e raised to x beta upon 1 plus e raised to x beta. Right? Okay? Or you can write Pi upon 1 minus Pi is e raised to xi beta. Alright? Okay. Now if you differentiate this with respect to beta, what will you